Welcome guys, Gaming Pilot here, and we are about to embark on an in-campaign mission, basically a search and destroy of some enemy ground vehicles near the front line. We are in an F-16 Block C, I believe, or F-16C Block 50 or 52 I want to say. A couple external tanks, 4 GBUs, 2 AMRAAMs, and 2 Sidewinders. We do have one wingman, so we're part of a 2-ship flight, and we're taking off from Busan. I think it's about, 80 miles or so to the front. We'll attack there, see what we can find, and come back and go from there. So far the weather's been cooperating pretty well too, so hopefully that'll keep up for us. Alright, I'm going to call for taxi.
Falcon 1, 2-ship, F-16s, request taxi. Good afternoon, Falcon 1, you are number 1 for departure. Taxi, Mike, Sierra, Alpha, and hold short, runway 32.
Alright, Mike, Sierra, Alpha, and hold short 32, so we'll taxi just short of 32, do our final checks, and then call tower for departure when we're ready. Move that back over, see if I can actually stay on the taxiway here.
Falcon 1, is there a problem?
Weird. I'm going. Alright, looks like it'll be a left turn onto the runway. See if I can get the track IR where I want it to be, that's pretty good. Alright. Slow it down a little bit.
Falcon 1-1, contact tower for takeoff. Switch to 23240.
Alrighty, over to tower. So I'll stop here. Switch to tower frequency.
Blazer 1-1, final approach.
Radar
Blazer
altimeter.
1-1, Poonsan Tower, continue inbound for runway 32. Blazer 1-1, Poonsan Tower, wing 350 at 8 knots, runway 32, cleared for landing, check gear down.
Alright, so when we hear cleared for takeoff, landing light will go on, and we will take the runway with our wingman and depart out. Of course, we have one, looks like a C5 maybe, transport plane coming in on final. So I'll call and let them know we're ready though.
Falcon 1, 2-ship, F-16s, ready for departure.
Falcon 1, hold short, arriving traffic.
Might get a, now it's line up and wait, but it used to be position and hold call behind this guy. That is a C5.
Falcon 1, Poonsan Tower, position and hold, runway 32.
Alright, we're going to position and hold. And I'm not sure which side the wingman's going to want to line up on. I think our left, or port wings. Alright, final looks clear. nose wheel steering. Oop, wrong button. I would explain it. Nose wheel steering's off for the takeoff roll. And I don't know if I didn't give my wingman enough room or if this is where he's trying to line up.
Blazer 1-1, contact below. Switch 22925. Falcon 1, Punsan Tower, wing 350 at 5 knots. Runway 32, you are cleared for takeoff.
Okay, we heard cleared for takeoff. Landing light goes on. Alright. Final control check. Salute the wingman. Throttle coming up to about 80, 85. Looks good, greens. Brakes released. And we'll go full afterburner for takeoff. Very gentle back pressure there. Kind of hops off the runway a little bit. Gear up.
Airborne.
Falcon 1-1, contact departure.
Over to departure.
Falcon 1, airborne. 2 shift, F-16s, 1000. Falcon 1, Punsan, departure. Depart heading 315. Resume on navigation.
315, pretty much right on course and on navigation. Alright, so we're currently about Angels 50 miles or so out from our target. And it's about time I was going to do a quick fence in. So I was going to run through that real quick. And that pretty much just consists of switching to ground mode. Then I have my 4 GBUs set for single. You could set them for pair, but since I'm going to try to attack individual vehicles, I just wanted to use singles. And then I'm going to power up the targeting pod in ground mode. And that's pretty much what you have to do there. The next couple steps are laser. So I'm going to go back into my navigation mode. And first thing, up on the ICP here, hit list, then 0 for your miscellaneous, and 5 for laser. That'll bring you in the laser page. Then you go down to where it says air to ground and training. If you hit 0 on your number pad, that'll switch it to combat. That's the only way to actually get the laser to work when you're trying to engage in combat. And then of course the other step once you take that out of training mode is to arm the laser. And so it will actually shine. And we're going to go ahead and go into our master arm. I'm not sure why I just got some kind of fault there. That was weird. Yeah, I'm not sure what that one is about. Alright, so we should be all set. And I'm just going to go ahead and switch to the next waypoint, which is the actual target. Alright, so we're now about 40 miles. Still Angels 20, so we're 20,000. The cloud deck, I want to say is about 10,000. If I don't get below it, odds are it's going to obscure the target area quite a bit and make it much more difficult for us to pick up any targets. So our target area is here just southeast of the bullseye, and I drew a little box around it in the campaign map just so I have an idea of where they would be, and just so I know exactly where it's safe to attack and not safe. So outside of this box I would not be authorized to engage for the chance of friendly fire. And in previous missions there may have been a time or two I engage the wrong ground targets. So you got to be careful. I've even seen some really dynamic ground campaigns going on, which is a ton of fun to participate in when you see the tanks and stuff shooting at each other. It's just really crazy to keep situational awareness and everything and make sure you're always attacking the right side. So anyway, I'm closing in now, so I'm gonna go ahead, kick off the autopilot. We'll throttle back a bit. I'm gonna start getting down somewhere around 10,000 feet or so. I think that'll get us in a good position to attack relative to the clouds. And my wingman is probably going to ask for permission to engage pretty soon, which I'll let him, once we get close, just seek out his own targets. If we were attacking a base or a factory or some kind of installation like that, I would most likely just have him, I would designate a target for him with my cursor and have him attack that, and we just, plan a single pass, most likely. But with a mission like this, we're looking for vehicles which are more than likely not in the exact same area that they were on the campaign map before takeoff, which was, half hour ago or whatever it's been. And it's harder to plan, so you got to stay a little more dynamic, and I'm just going to let him engage on his own once he calls that he's ready. And in the meantime, I'm going to see what I can find. Alright, so these clouds, kind of as predicted, are causing me a little bit of issue. But if you look, I am right on, if you look on the left side, my fire control radar, it looks like I'm right on a line of vehicles. So I'm going to do my best to get in, get a good target ID on them and lock them up. Alright, I'm going to go ahead. My wingman hasn't called already, but I'll just give him weapons free.
Falcon 1-2, weapons free.
We'll see.
2,
Alright.
welcome.
And now I'm starting to see targets. More targeting pod screen here. So let's move it near one. Looks like there's a reasonable start. And got our first vehicle targeted. I don't know if I want to, it looks like that might, no, there's a couple there. You want to try to maximize and get more than one in a pass if at all possible. Alright, looking pretty good. Gotta just keep an eye out in case we get locked up at all from any of these enemy anti-aircraft or hopefully not missile, but surface-to-air missiles would quite quickly ruin the day, I think. Alright, still looking like we have a few miles to go. About 300 knots, 10,000 feet. I think we're in a pretty good envelope to drop our munitions.
Falcon 1-2, request permission to engage.
And now he's calling ready.
Falcon 1-2, weapons free.
So I'll let him do his thing.
2, welcome.
Alright. And we're just about ready to drop. And with this type of release, the computer calculates the best time to release. So you just want to be at a good altitude and speed to laze the target, and then hold down the pickle button and it'll let the bomb loose when it's ready. And there it goes.
Gateway.
And I'm going to direct the laser right down in between these two vehicles, and I'm going to try to get them both. Okay, looking good. We just flew over. And we got the target. Right on, actually. Alright, I'm gonna start a right turn and try to come around. So we should be able to see now too where that impacted the ground. I hopefully should be able to pick it up. Yeah, there it is. So that gives us a pretty good visual marker too then of where the rest of the column of vehicles is located. And I do see more, it looks like possibly more vehicles up ahead. You just gotta watch out for anti-aircraft, which could definitely be up there. And of course, keep an eye on the RWR in case enemy aircraft were to take off from here, or anywhere near here, and come in to intercept. Alright, coming around. See if we can get another one of those vehicles.
Altitude. Altitude.
Pave way!
There's our wingman dropping. Oh, I think I got one.
Pave way!
See if I can laze it down. I actually think I lost what I was looking at. So odds are I'm not going to get anything on this one. But let's see. I'll probably still hit where I'm directing. Yeah. Alright, so that happened a little quick. Didn't get a good target acquisition. Let's try that again. Alright. Fuel's looking pretty good. Getting to the point where I wouldn't want to dogfight pretty quick here. Would be a little low if we needed afterburner, or if we got in a turning fight, something like that. So F-16 of course is a fast bird and corners fast and basically needs to maneuver pretty quickly. Otherwise it really loses its advantage for the most part. Alright, I definitely got a couple vehicles on this one. So, I'm gonna watch my nose here. Pitch control. If you don't control the pitch of the nose, your airspeed is gonna be all over, and then you're just gonna be less accurate on your bomb release.
Pave way!
At release, you want to be as close in that window as possible. And I'm gonna put the cursor right between the two vehicles. And it's lasing down there. You can see the L flashing. That means it is active. And a little timer in the lower right corner of the MFD. And there it is. Alright. I have one more GBU. So far, 2 out of my 3 hit. I'll take it. Still haven't seen any air threats or anything like that. Let's ask AWACS real quick.
Magic 1, Falcon 1-1. Request vector to threat. Falcon 1, Magic 1, no targets available.
Alright. Happy to hear that, actually. Alright, F-16 off our nose. I assume that's our wingman. Of course, I can confirm that with the data link. But for now, I'm just gonna finish my turn and see if I can acquire one more set of targets. So, on the left screen, my fire control radar, I'm gonna zoom in. I get a chance here, there we go. this will let me find the cursor, remove the cursor to find where I can pick up some of these targets, just like these guys here. Then again, I put the cursor right between the tanks
Paveway.
and drop, and with a little luck I'll get them both.
Caution. Caution.
Okay, so that's my stores.
Paveway.
All I need to do is go over here, switch it to Cat 1, and that'll take care of that avionics fault. Alright, and we are lasing, so about 5 seconds. There it is. That was another good drop. Alright, so that's all my air-to-ground weapons. So we're about 34 miles out now, descending through around 18,000. At 30 miles we can make a call. Actually, I actually am closer than that now that I think about it. I'm about 15 miles up from the base. But I'm expecting runway 32, so I'm going to fly past the base and come around. So let's see what tower tells us. And actually I'm on approach, and I'm just going to request the overhead approach.
Falcon 1-1, 2-shift, F-16s, 15 miles, west, 17,000, inbound from overhead landing. Good afternoon, Falcon 1-1, moon sound approach. You're cleared all the way in for overhead approach. Runway 32, welcome back.
Alright.
QH2 989.
2989 is our altimeter setting, so we're at 2992. 2989 is set. That'll correct for non-standard pressure, but that's a different lesson. And so there's Busan, and actually the airport is right under my crosshairs there, lying just southwest. Actually, no, it's southeast of the town. So I'm gonna actually steepen our descent a little bit here, and my wingman's coming into that fingertip formation for the overhead. So we're gonna swing out and then swing back in, because runway 32, so 320 is a northwesterly heading. So from the direction we were coming, really the only way to make this work efficiently was to fly past the base and then kind of swing around. So that's what we're going to do. We should get a call pretty quick here to contact the tower. So as we're coming back in, it's approach, who we call, which controls the outlying airspace around the base. And then once we get close, we call tower, who handles the airport, the runway operations, and near the airbase. So, looking good. I'm probably a little higher than I really want to be here, but that's alright, we're doing okay. There's the airport again, really just coming up almost to our 9 o'clock out there. I'm just trying to give us plenty of room, because when you're flying a close formation like this as well, you definitely don't want to make any abrupt maneuvers. Of course, when you watch any of the real tight formation flying like Blue Angels or the Thunderbirds, they're even, of course, a lot closer
Falcon
than
1-1,
this.
contact tower for landing. Switch to 23240.
Alright, so over to tower. And then I'm just going to check in with tower and let them know that we're inbound. And you just do that by requesting landing.
Falcon 1, 2-shift, F-16s, inbound for landing.
Falcon 1, Punsan Tower, continue inbound for runway 32, report overhead.
Okay. So for runway 32, so 320 will be our final heading, and to report the overhead. And Busan, I've come to learn, is a fairly high elevation, so you just want to give yourself plenty of altitude to really identify. And I know we're still a ways out, but I'm just going to turn inbound now. But you got to give yourself plenty of altitude, because you get down a little too much in the weeds and you really just can't see what you're doing. and you lose your reference
Weasel,
points.
1, 2 ship,
And
F-16s,
it
ready
gets
for
really
departure.
difficult to identify
Weasel 1,
the
hold
best way to
short
come
landing
in.
aircraft.
Surprised they're making them hold short. We're still a little ways out, but that's alright. Alright, looking pretty good. So there's our runway. And we're going to end up, I want to say maybe like a 5-mile final, which when you're doing, you know, almost 350 knots, it goes pretty quick. Alright, let's tighten up this turn just a little bit. Trying to avoid the overshoot, but also trying to maneuver smoothly. This would be a lot of work for the wingman at this point. Throttle back just a touch as we come out of this, nice and smooth. I'm going to slow on down a bit. And now that we pretty much have our course pretty well lined up and figured out, we can bring her down even a little lower, but I'm going to stick around maybe, 1,300 feet or so. Try to come right down the center line, and then we're going to report the overhead brake. So this will be a right brake because my wingman's here. Not that an overhead left brake would be impossible, but not recommended at this point, just so we don't conflict with each other. And I'm going to do it right at the threshold and see how that happens and works out here.
One, break right. 2.
So I'm not sure if he's actually braking behind me or not, but it kind of seems like it. Gears coming down. I'm going to add in some power again, just so I don't get too slow. The F-16 is a very fast bird, and essentially, there you go, speed brakes coming out. Essentially, it's got kind of stubby wings, and it just really likes to stay fast. Alright, so that looks like the end of the runway there. Ooh, getting a little fast. Watch that, there we go. Again, I'm just really trying not to get slow as much as possible here. I hope that's not my wingman, like, that got out in front of me somehow. If so, we might be doing a little bit of a formation landing here.
Falcon 1, Punsan Tower, wing 350 at 7 knots. Runway 32, cleared for landing. Check gear down.
Alright, well, we are cleared for landing. I think he ended up somehow maybe ahead of me on this approach, but that's alright. Call that a little bit non-standard, but... Okay, nice and easy, rolling out. We're a little fast. Oh, well, squirrely here. Not totally
Weasel
on the
1,
runway,
Punsan Tower, position and hold. Runway 32.
but I'll take it.
Falcon 1-1, contact below. Switch to 29525.
Not quite sure how I pulled that one off. Not the most graceful, mind you. Switch to ground.
Bulldog, 1, 2 ship, F-16s, request taxi. Good afternoon.
Follow
Bulldog,
wingman
1,
right
your number
off
2 for
the,
departure. Taxi, Papa,
the
Mike,
runway here.
Sierra, Alpha, and hold short, runway 32.
That was
Bulldog 1
hilarious.
taxiing. Falcon 1-2, request taxi back. Falcon 1-2, taxi back to the ramp. You're cleared all the way in.
Alright, and I'll just assume that's clearance for me too. Alright, well, certainly not the smoothest, gonna work on those landings a bit, but hey, well, somehow we're on the ground. So, alright, well, if you stuck with me this long, thanks for watching, let me know what you think, and we'll see you on the next